die du unbedingt anlegen sollst.
Most of us want to improve our lives, but for that to happen, we need to adapt certain positive habits. Fundamentally speaking, habits play a key role in our day-to-day lives. But not all habits are created equal. Some can have a much bigger impact than others. This is why it's important that we learn to identify these habits and develop them. Charles Duhigg, author of the book The Power of Habit, calls them keystone habits. So, what is a keystone habit? To put it simply, a keystone habit is a single habit that allows for other habits in your life to be sustained. It's not much different from a normal habit, it's just that it has the most potential to transform your entire life.
Genau, das sind die wichtigsten, die Sachen, die Habits, die Gewohnheiten, die auch auf andere gute Gewohnheiten Einfluss haben, die mitbestimmen und die weiter hochziehen.
That's because keystone habits spark a chain reaction that can have a domino effect and other habits take hold. And often we're not even consciously trying to form all those other habits, they're just a byproduct of the keystone habit. Let me give you an example. This is Mike. One day he decided that he wanted to make a change in his life. He realized that all he did was
Hello,
work
Chad.
and spend time at home watching TV and playing video games. So Mike decided to pick up a healthy new hobby, which was exercise. He bought a gym membership and made a commitment to train there at least 3 times per week. Now, unbeknown to Mike, his new exercise habit would slowly create other new positive habits. Mike was a regular smoker, but once he started exercising, he found himself smoking less and less. Cigarettes were Mike's way of dealing with the stress at his job, but exercise offered a much better alternative for stress management. Because Mike was worn out after his workouts, his sleep improved. He fell asleep faster and had less awakenings during the night. As a result, his energy throughout the day skyrocketed. He became more productive at work and was even able to land a promotion. Mike even picked up cooking as a new hobby so he could eat more protein-rich meals to make more progress at the gym. And because he was now cooking most of his meals, he started saving money since he wasn't eating out at expensive restaurants all the time. Mike became a completely new person in the span of 6 months. But he didn't try to make all these changes at first. The only change he committed to was exercising 3 times per week. It's just that his commitment had a domino effect and he formed other habits as a result. This is the power of keystone habits. Just one change can lead to an avalanche of other changes. And stories like these are not uncommon. There are many people who attribute a single habit change to their life transformation. However, if you take away their keystone habit, all other habits tend to become less stable and sometimes they completely crumble and fall apart. This is why you need to protect the positive keystone habit at any cost.
Genau. Das ist eine so wichtige Gewohnheit, weil alles baut darauf auf. Ja, wie zum Beispiel Lernen. Das ist das größte Keystone Habit, das es überhaupt gibt. Wenn man gut lernen kann, dann kann man auch halt die anderen Sachen im Leben lernen, die wichtig sind. Und kann dann wieder, also wenn man schneller und besser lernen kann, dann kann man auch wieder die anderen Keystone Habits wieder schnell lernen. Und dann kommt man mit einem extremen Speed im Leben voran.
Of course, while there are beneficial keystone habits, we have to note that there are also damaging keystone habits. A positive habit can transform you into a better person, but a negative habit can leave you escalating down towards the bottom. So it's important that you identify any current habits that could be holding you back and make sure you break them. If you manage to break a damaging keystone habit, you'll find that the other bad habits often crumble as well. Now, let me give you a few keystone habits I believe have the most potential to lead you to other good habits.
Hi!
The first keystone you should try to acquire is any habit from the health trinity. What's a health trinity, you might ask? Exercise, diet, and sleep. All these habits are likely to lead you to other good habits, but most importantly, they also tend to build on
Krass. So ist der Chat so voll, wurde ich gehostet oder gebottet? Krass.
each other. For example, eating
Freut
a
mich,
better
dass ihr alle
diet
da
leads to
seid.
better sleep. But getting better sleep also leads to fewer urges and more willpower to stick to a diet. You get the idea. You can start wherever you want with the health trinity, and slowly you'll end up building the other 2 health habits. We've seen how Mike improved his life by starting an exercise regime. But I believe improving your sleep first can have an even bigger impact.
Genau. Das Wichtigste, gesunder Schlaf, gesundes Essen und trainieren, Sport. Und zwar in der Reihenfolge. Genau, wenn man richtig gut schläft, dann kann man, also sobald man es beeinflussen kann, bei Schlafen ist immer wegen, ja, manchmal kann man das nicht so gut beeinflussen. Aber das Essen, das kann man sehr gut beeinflussen. Und das Essen ist wichtiger als das Trainieren. Das soll immer gemerkt sein. Das Essen, wenn man sich gesund ernährt, tut man viel mehr für seinen Körper, als wenn man viel trainiert. Also immer erst zuerst das Essen optimieren und dann das Training.
You might have noticed I make a lot of videos related to sleep on this channel. The reason is because sleep is the most important keystone habit for me personally. It simply improves everything else. I have noticed that whenever I get good sleep, everything becomes easier. I'm more motivated to do things, I have tons of energy, better focus, and more self-control. In turn, this makes doing all my other habits a piece of cake. Practicing the piano? Super easy. Going to the gym? Barely an inconvenience. However, if I don't get my optimal sleep, I can see a noticeable difference. I don't have motivation, my energy is lower, I don't have much willpower, plus everything becomes a chore. That's why I try to get the best sleep possible every single night, because this one habit has the biggest impact on my day. And if you're not optimizing your sleep yet, I highly suggest you try for at least 1 month. I guarantee you'll see a ton of positive changes in your life. Another good keystone habit is planning and tracking your activities. Planning is self-explanatory. Sitting down for just a few minutes and develop.
Planen ist so wichtig. Für jede 15 Minuten, wo man plant, bekommt man 2 Stunden extra am Tag. Das heißt, auf jeden Fall planen, alles detailliert machen und nicht einfach irgendwie so ein bisschen dies, ein bisschen das. Am besten schon am Abend den Plan schreiben und dann, wenn man aufsteht, gleich den Plan rausnehmen und sich dran halten. So machen es die ganz Großen und die ganz Erfolgreichen auch. Ja, immer erst planen, nichts den Zufall verlassen. Das System hilft den Erfolg.
Developing a detailed plan for the day or even the whole week can help you prioritize things better. However, if you don't make any plans, you're more likely to just go through the day with no real direction. So if you want to make any of your habits stick, it's wise to plan them out. Another thing that makes planning so great is how closely it's tied with tracking. Now, it doesn't matter what you track. Perhaps you track your gym progress. Maybe you track your financial situation and where you spend your money. Or you could even log how you spend each hour of your day. The point of tracking things is that we get actual objective data. Often we're not really aware of how much we do or don't.
Genau, und am besten ist, man richtet sich gleich Systeme ein. Systeme, wie man zum Beispiel immer trainiert. Das heißt, man geht nach der Schule oder nach der Arbeit gleich ins Fitnessstudio, dann kann man es gar nicht erst aufschieben, diese Schlüsselgewohnheiten mit dem Trainieren. Oder man macht ein Kontosystem, das von Bodo Schäfer empfehle ich, wo man einen gewissen Teil, gleich wenn man ihn bekommt, als Lohn, auf die Seite legt. Von jedem Geld lädt man dann 10% zum Beispiel zum Sparen auf die Seite. Damit das schon mal sicher gespart ist, das kann man dann gar nicht mehr ausgeben. Das heißt, es braucht keine Disziplin oder Zeit. Man kriegt gleich mehr Zeit, indem man sich angewöhnt, jeden Abend, bevor man schlafen geht, egal wie viel Uhr es ist, erst schlafen zu gehen, wenn man dann diesen Plan erstellt hat.
Do certain things, but having visible data can help us become aware of that. Let me give you an example of how this works. Let's say you start tracking where you spend your money. For 1 whole month, you log every single purchase you make. Then you look at the data. If you're a smoker, you might realize you smoke way more than you thought. You usually buy a $5 pack of cigarettes here and there. So
ja, oder man tut einfach, solange es auch dieses ganze physische Geld gibt, es in seinen Geldbeutel, zum Beispiel 50 Euro insgesamt, und mit dem muss man dann auskommen am Tag oder auch weniger, je nachdem, wie man sich so einschätzt. Dann sieht man auch, dann hat man es auch in der Hand, wie viel man ausgibt. Das heißt, man muss sich dann gar nicht mehr so aufschreiben, man muss dann einfach nur schauen, wie viel hat man dann am Schluss vom Tag noch und wofür hat man es ausgegeben.
So it doesn't seem like you spend that much money. But once you add all those purchases up, you might find that you actually spend over $100 per month. You see, our brains are not good at tracking everything, and we often forget to include something. In this case, a few packs of cigarettes. That's why logging things is so beneficial. It frees our brain space and it allows us to get an objective look at the things we're doing or not doing. So start tracking your activities and you'll find areas where you've been fooling yourself, and you'll be more likely to improve your situation. The last keystone habit I suggest you adapt is meditation. A lot of people think meditation is a waste of time, mainly busy people. But after just a few weeks of meditating daily,
Meditation ist keine Verschwendung von Zeit. Meditation bringt Zeit, genauso wie Sport. Wenn man meditiert und Sport macht, dann kriegt man mehr Stunden, mehr qualitativ hochwertige Stunden pro Tag. Ja, in denen man mehr schafft, als wenn man das jetzt auslassen würde und gleich arbeitet. Deswegen sind auch Pausen so allgemein richtig effektiv. Ohne Pausen nichts, weil das Gehirn muss es verarbeiten. Und es stellt dann auch wieder die Energie und die Konzentration her. Und so ist es beim Meditieren auch und beim Sport entfacht es auch noch mehr Energie. Das heißt, sogar immer, wenn man schlapp ist, auf zum Sport, losgehen und dann tankt man dann wieder Energie. Also bitte Leute, Pausen machen, meditieren, Sport machen. Es ist keine Zeitverschwendung. Das gibt mehr Zeitqualität. Und darauf kommt es an. Es kommt nicht darauf an, wie viele Stunden man arbeitet, sondern wie effektiv man arbeitet. Es gibt Leute, die arbeiten in 4 Stunden mehr, als welche, die 40 Stunden arbeiten. Und die verdienen auch viel mehr, als die 40 Stunden arbeiten.
You can
Deswegen
expect
bitte.
benefits like better self-control, longer attention span, less anxiety, and less stress, all of which is perfect for people who are working hard. Let me ask you this question. How often do you stop and take a mental break from your daily life? If you're like most people, not very often. We are constantly occupied with something. Usually we're busy with school or work, and when we come home, we stimulate ourselves by watching TV or browsing our phones. Because of this, our brains are working overtime and therefore are exhausted. If you're into fitness, you know that working out is only part of the battle. Another part is resting and allowing your muscles to recover. And it's that recovery that allows muscles to repair themselves and grow stronger. If someone is bench pressing every single day without a break, they are not going to make progress. In fact, they are likely to be lifting less and less weight because their muscles are tired and overworked. That's why taking a break is so important. Meditation gives us that break, but we're not resting our muscles, we are resting our brain. And it's that mental recovery that allows our brain to build more gray matter and improve our brain function. Because of that, meditation makes other habits easier. Now I urge you to adapt your very own keystone habit. Build one of them and other positive habits are likely to follow. If you don't know how to develop and build habits, check out my video, Mini Habits. It will give you the necessary tools to build and sustain any habit you desire. Improving your lifestyle isn't as difficult as you might have previously thought. You just need to find that one habit and other habits will follow. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned something new today and you became better than yesterday.
Das ist echt großartiger Kanal. Der macht echt sehr, sehr gute Videos.